And here we go again, people exhibiting extreme hysteria over a non-existent epidemic of mass shootings. Neil deGrasse Tyson actually came out and tweeted about this to simply show that people don't need to be in hysterics over this, as percentage-wise mass shootings are exceptionally rare. I've even pointed out this before, that as far as children are concerned, they're more likely to drown in a pool if a house has a pool behind it. So if someone's motivation is to save lives, especially those of children, their focus should not be on guns. It should be on forbidding people to own pools in their backyard, as those are a far greater threat to the lives of children, and they're arguably a lot more useless than guns as well. So the fact is that there's a very small probability you'll ever even be in the vicinity of a mass shooting, let alone ever fall victim to one. Having a government make broad, sweeping federal legislation that deprives the right of everyone because of the actions of a minuscule number of psychopaths is not a good road to go down. This is not to say there is nothing we can do about gun violence. For example, don't watch CNN, Fox News, or MSNBC when they plaster the shooter's face all over. These psychos are very often looking for exactly that. They want to be seen. They want to be the subject of a nationwide conversation. They're looking for that infamy, and we shouldn't give it to them, and we shouldn't watch those who do give it to them. Other than this, these mass shooters all generally seem to be on some sort of psychotropic drug. Perhaps feeding psychotropic drugs shouldn't be the default answer to every issue you have with your child, or every personality quirk they might have. I'm not an expert in this area, so I would not claim to know everything about this, but I doubt messing with the brain chemistry of developing minds is something we should be doing, and certainly not to the extent that we do it. We feed kids all sorts of medication like it's candy. This might have something to do with the warping of some people's personalities. And of course, ending the war on drugs, taking away the absurd amount of power, money, and strength from violent drug cartels and gangs would go a very long way in even further decreasing gun violence in the US. These are all fairly reasonable, logical steps to take to diminish these terrible tragedies and gun violence in general. It is those who simply have a knee-jerk reaction to advocate some sweeping legislation. They will do more harm than good. After all, let's say you ban all semi-automatic guns, which would include most handguns. There will be a very sizable chunk of the population that doesn't want to go along with it. Why punish someone in Montana for the actions that an extraordinarily small percentage of people engaged in? There, without a doubt, would be people who refuse to comply with these laws. So how do you deal with that? How do you force someone to give up their guns? Well, you have to bring violence to their doorstep, the very thing you're trying to prevent with these laws. It's always odd to me that the same group of people that constantly criticize the police, which much of the time is a fair criticism to make, but at the same time these people are advocating for laws to be put on the books that would allow these same police officers to invade the lives of innocent, otherwise peaceful people and bring violence and threatening circumstances into their lives. It's a huge, huge disconnect. It's an obscene overreaction to an issue that, as I said before, is extremely rare given the size and population of the United States. Advocating for these types of gun bans is motivated in part to decrease a very rare violence being directed at innocent people. Yet the only way to enforce these laws would be to bring a very pervasive violence on a massive scale to innocent people. As I said, this demonstrates a huge disconnect among the people who advocate for these gun control measures. But anyway, that's it for now. Like, subscribe, and share this video. It's a huge help, and please take it easy.